Thank you, Your Honor. The state of Indiana would call Officer Jason Bedwell, please.
Witness sworn.
Mr. Bedwell, I'm sure the jury and the court's tired of hearing me say this.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Will you state your name, please?
Jason Bedwell.
And will you spell your last name for me?
Bedwell.
And how are you employed?
I am a custody officer at Wabash Valley Correctional.
And how long you been employed in that position?
9 years.
And before you became a correctional officer at Wabash Valley Correctional Facility, did you go through any kind of training to become a correctional officer?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me about that?
I went through training for facility security, inmate transportation, and CTS training, which is what's called Certified Treatment Specialist to work with the mentally ill inmates.
And what shift do you work at that facility?
Day shift, H bracket.
Could you tell me the time periods of that shift?
Time period is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And you may have already stated this, but you work in a specific unit.
I have worked many different units while I've been there, but at the time I was working in the secured correctional unit on the confinement unit, which is also known as the inaudible.
And are you familiar with an individual by the name of Richard Allen?
I do.
And how are you familiar with him?
I was doing a watch sheet and I was watching over him throughout the day to make sure his mental health, his physical health, and well-being were doing okay.
And when you watch over him, this may be a silly question, but are you at his cell watching him?
At that time I was doing every 15-minute walk, 15-minute round, so no, I wasn't there all day. I'd walk out, I'd observe what he's doing. I would walk back to where I was at and I would log it down on the flow sheet.
How much time did you spend at his cell when you were observing him?
Enough time to see what he was doing, enough time to understand what was going on. Now, if there was something else that was going through that would be more concerning to me, on there to where I needed to look, I'd be there a little bit longer.
And so every 15 minutes, you go down to his cell and look into the cell to observe him?
That is correct.
And you observe for a few minutes and then return to your duty?
That is correct.
Unless something was going on, and then you would observe longer?
That is correct.
Is that a fair summary of how you watched?
Yes, sir.
Richard Allen?
Yes, sir.
I want to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 300. Can you tell me, well, first of all, are you familiar with this document?
I am, sir.
And what is this document?
That is the offender flow sheet, watch sheet for watching as what we would call suicide watch.
And is this the sheet that you log any activity on when you observe Mr. Allen?
It is, sir.
And is that a sheet that's necessary to coincide with you watching him?
It is, sir.
And who's the author of this sheet, meaning who filled this sheet out?
I did, sir.
How do you know that?
Because my initials are on the left-hand side.
Also, if you take a look at the bottom, is there some identifying information?
There is, sir. My initials are at the bottom, along with my name and title duty.
Judge, the state would move to admit what's been marked as State's Exhibit 300 into evidence. State's Exhibit 300 offered.
No objection.
All right. Without objection, 300 is admitted.
For the last time today, if I could follow the same procedure of publishing it to the jury.
You may. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Bedwell, what date was this sheet drafted?
Drafted on February 4th, 2024.
And I want to draw your attention to 10 a.m. on that day. You see that entry?
Yes, sir, I do.
Is that marked with your initials?
It is, sir.
And at that time and date, what did you hear Mr. Allen say?
At that time and date, I went there and walked down at around 1,000 hours, noticed that Mr. Allen was in his cell, and I overheard him say that, I am.
And you have the designation under offender behavior as 2-6. Can you tell the jury what that means?
2 over there in the offender behavior. Number 2 is where he was lying down and he was crying. He was awake at the time. And number 6 is that he was talking to himself.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Rozzi.
Thank you, Judge. How long you been at Wabash Valley?
9 years, sir.
And you were assigned to monitor Rick Allen's words and actions down there?
That is correct, sir.
Maximum security, solitary confinement unit?
That is correct, sir.
It's kind of a unit within a unit down there, right?
It is, sir.
8 by 12 cell roughly?
Roughly, sir.
Concrete walls, steel door, steel toilet?
Yes, sir.
Isolated from all others?
Isolated from all others?
Yeah.
No, sir.
He doesn't get to have any contact with other inmates, does he?
No. There is no author contact between others except if he does speak through the wall with some of the others.
They can yell at each other through the doors in the wall.
They can.
You watched him from late January to early February of this year?
I'm sorry, sir?
You watched him from late January to early February of this year?
I watched him approximately from February to said date.
And this log, number 300, exhibit number 300, reflects that he pretty much was lying down the entire time between 6 a.m. and noon, right? For the most part?
For the most part, sir.
That's what number 2 is, right?
That is correct, sir.
And you make these codes on these door sheets kind of in real time. Is that fair?
That is correct, sir.
And would you agree that he did a lot of laying down and sleeping when you were there?
He did a lot of lying down, sleeping. He was up during chow movement. He'd go back, he'd sit down by the bunk. Other than that, yeah, there was...
But you did make a note, for example, at 900 hours, 9 a.m., that he was taking his medication?
That is correct.
And you made a note specifically that, at 6:30 in the morning, he was eating and drinking?
That is correct.
1 second, I'm looking at the sheet here. So on February 4th, you noted at 10 a.m. that you overheard him say he was sorry for killing the girls, right?
That is correct.
And you made a note that he was lying down awake, right?
That is correct.
And number 6, that he was talking to himself?
That is correct.
And this whole log sheet over here on the right has kind of the key here where you can, determine what the behavior is and then, essentially, code it over here on the left.
That is correct.
Supposed to be real easy for you, because it's all here on one page, right?
That is correct.
And the idea behind that is so that you're as accurate as possible when you report this stuff, right?
That is correct.
And there's as much detail as possible?
That is correct.
And you were interviewed by the police about a month and couple weeks later, March 15th, 2024, weren't you?
That is correct.
And at that interview, you provided them with a little different version of what you have here on this log sheet, didn't you?
I gave them exact what I told them on there, sir.
Okay, well, you told the police that Rick Allen was actually curled up in a fetal position.
I object. Is he trying to impeach the witness at this point?
I'm not sure. Are you trying to impeach?
Yeah.
That's not the proper way to do it then. You need to give him the document, refresh his recollection, then you can ask and question. He's just reading from the document.
I'm asking him right now what he told the police. If he denies it, then I can.
That is improper. That is an improper way to impeach. Do it the appropriate way, and you can absolutely impeach him.
Thank you, Judge. Did you tell the police that he was curled up in a fetal position?
I did.
Okay, you didn't note that on this watch sheet, did you?
There's no specific way of putting it on the watch sheet that he was curled up. I put what was on there, what he said, and what he was doing at the time.
Okay, you see item 27 there on the right side?
Item 27?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
What's that say?
It says, other, specify.
So that might be one code that you could use to identify that he was curled up in a fetal position, right?
At the time, it could be.
Okay, did you tell the police that he was facing the wall on his bunk?
I did.
You didn't note that on the sheet, did you?
No, I did not.
Did you tell the police that his demeanor would change from calm to almost hysterical?
I did.
You didn't note that on the sheet, did you?
No, I did not.
In fact, the log sheet shows that at 9:45, he was laying down, right?
It does.
And actually, when you testified earlier, you said he was laying down crying were your words, right? That's what you said a few minutes ago when Mr. McClelland was.
He was laying down crying.
Okay, well, crying is over here. Let me direct your attention to the key on.
It is.
Code 8.
It is.
Where is code 8 referenced on the left side here?
On the left side, it is not. I always put down what I observed at the time.
Well, you said he was crying, but you didn't note it, right?
I did.
So at 9:45, he's laying down. There's no other behavior to note, right?
No, there's not.
And at 10:15, he's laying down and he's talking to himself, right?
That is correct.
Not much activity before this 10 o'clock entry and not much after, is there?
There is not.
And in fact, you told the police that he said, I'm sorry for the things I've done. I'm sorry for killing those girls. That's what you told the police.
That is correct.
That's not what you documented here, is it?
This is what I corrected on what I said on here. He said he was sorry for the things he'd done and sorry for killing those girls.
All right. It says, overheard inmate Allen say he was sorry for killing the girls, right?
Says that, sir.
Doesn't say anything about the things he's done, right?
No, it does not.
Okay, so when the police got there a month and a half later, you added some facts to all this, right? M.R. McClelland, objection, judge, asked and answered.
Overruled.
You added some facts?
Yes.
That room is a rectangle, basically, isn't it?
Pretty much, sir, yes.
And the bunk in that room is on the back wall, isn't it?
It is correct.
And Mr. Allen was facing away from you when this occurred?
That is correct.
You couldn't see his face, right?
No, I could not.
There's a metal door on the front of that cell?
There is, but there is also a window off to the side.
Okay, yeah, actually there is a window off the side. It's a strip window, isn't it?
That is correct.
It's actually got a sticker on it, doesn't it? So you can't see into most of the bottom part of it.
No, it does not. The only time that it has anything that is upon that wall, upon there, is when the inmates put that up there if they were using the restroom.
Okay, you don't know in what context he spoke those words, do you?
I'm sorry?
You don't know in what context he spoke those words, do you?
I'm not understanding your question.
Well, you didn't hear him say anything before this, right? Before what you reported on the log sheet, right?
That is pretty much that's what all he said at the time that I was standing there.
Which was just a really short period of time.
Was probably about 10 minutes.
Okay.
That I stood at the door.
So the only words that he uttered in 10 minutes were the words that you note on the sheet, right?
Between him crying and that's what he said at that time.
Plus the additional words you told the police that he uttered when you talked to them 6 weeks later?
Beside what I told the officer there, yes.
So your log entry's not really that accurate, is it?
The log sheet at the time is just a quick reference of what was going down at that time.
A quick reference?
Is what you call for from the side, from the guidelines off to the side, and what you put down from to log it in and you go back to sit.
And then, you're just sitting there watching a cell for 15 minutes, right?
You walk in, you look at the cell, you observe what he's doing, you go back and you sit down and you log it back in.
You had plenty of time to make a full, detailed entry, didn't you?
Between that and also helping OUT my other fellow officers doing insulin checks with the nurse, also coming around and helping out with either chow movements at the time, there isn't time between in there where I could do that, yes.
You said earlier you spent 15 minutes looking at him, right?
I said 10.
10 minutes, I'm sorry. Could have made a full-blown, detailed entry in 10 minutes, right?
I observed what I seen and I observed on there.
Could you have made a full-blown, detailed entry in 10 minutes?
I observed what I seen and at the time.
I don't have anything further.
Mr. McClelland.
No questions, Judge.
Does anybody on the jury have any questions for Mr. Bedwell? Would counsel approach?
Sidebar conference conducted.
Was the information on the offender watch flow sheet entered and documented in an electronic record?
Yeah.
Sure.
And if so, is there a space for you to elaborate on?
No objection.
No objection.
And did you elaborate? That was the last one.
Yeah, building on each other.
Was Richard Allen under video/audio monitoring during this time?
I don't have any objection.
Okay. And don't forget, too, that we're gonna hold everybody for a little bit after.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you maybe come over here, and we have a conversation, so.
Okay.
Sidebar conference concluded.
Sir, is the information on the offender watch flow sheet entered or documented in an electronic record?
In an ELEC, that I do not know if it is Siritisnet. I log it, I turn it in at the end of the day.
Any follow-up, Mr. McClelland?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rossi?
No.
Was Richard Allen under video or audio monitoring during this time?
No, he was not.
Any follow-up, Mr. McClelland?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rossi?
No.
All right. Thank you, sir. You may step down and...
Mr. Bedwell, I'll take that.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, that's the last witness for the day, so again, while you go on about your own business, I know that you'll have access to your phones and electronics so that you can communicate with family and check your work emails under the supervision of the bailiffs, but please, don't talk about the case amongst yourselves or with anyone else. Again, just leave all your materials there, and we'll have those available for you tomorrow morning. Please have a safe and a peaceful evening, enjoy your dinner, and we'll see you tomorrow. Gentlemen.
All rise.
Jury out at 6:28 p.m.
You may be seated. And counsel, if we could have a sidebar, please.
Sidebar conference conducted.
So close, but yet so far.
Okay. So we're just gonna chat, because that ladies, so I told Jeremy that he knows, he needs to let us know when the jury's out. They're taking them outside through the entrance on back. Jeremy, when they get downstairs, will let us know when he's on the way and driving, so I'm not sure if inaudible. So what's the state's perspective as far as tomorrow is concerned?
We're gonna plan on calling Dr. Walla.
Okay.
I'm hopeful that we can get it done in the morning, but I'm not sure.
It's your witness.
And it's your cross.
It's your cross.
Let's not pretend.
I'm doing my job.
And then,
She gave us a lot to harp on.
I think we'll have Officer Harshman at some point, and then we've got to talk about there was a jury question, and I'd like to call him as a witness about that. However, it wasn't part of discovery, it wasn't cause we just did it. We did a digital search to see if there were any 2016 Ford Focuses.
Oh, okay.
And we followed upon that.
Okay.
So I would call a witness, Steve Mullen, just that certification from the BMV standpoint, inaudible, we'd like to call him, inaudible, so we may have that witness as well.
Well, we've kind of talked about that.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a huge deal either way.
Okay. It's not a game changer.
No.
No. Well, inaudible.
You don't know.
Inaudible.
But I think we're near the ending point, and I think tomorrow I believe we'll call Dr. Walla.
Okay. Inaudible.
We will have phone calls to play through Harshman. We have 2 hours of phone calls, so that'll take some time.
I have a thought. If they finish upon Thursday, would it be, hey, guys, they're still on the record. Possible to just go ahead and recess and then let us start on Friday? Because we are trying to coordinate witnesses. Because Nick's been kind enough to give us a date of inaudible. And so we're starting to inaudible. I think it would be helpful if we just had.
Well, I guess it kind of.
If we know that it's probably the safest bet is Friday. That's what I'm hearing, that they'll definitely be done at the end of Thursday.
Unless something crazy comes.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, if they rest at 10, no, I'm not gonna to until Friday, you're gonna be after lunch, so.
Oh, okay. That's what I'm kind of asking here. Okay.
I mean, you may have some people that you may have to call out of order, I get that.
Yeah.
But we're not gonna.
We just.
Well, what about in the afternoon?
Oh, 3 or 4 in the afternoon, unless you've got a quick witness that you can put up or a couple of quick witnesses. I'm concerned about their time. They're anxious to get through and get home, so. Sure. That would be my concern.
We're working on it. We'll get you that list by the end of the day.
Yeah, if you could get me that.
Well, it may.
It may change.
We may narrow it.
Inaudible.
Inaudible.
I mean, I don't know if you have a witness that.
Yeah, we.
Maybe a shorter witness. I don't know what Kathy Allen's gonna testify to, if there's something shorter.
Just fill in the gaps.
Yeah, just somebody to fill in the gaps so that we're at least utilizing the jurors' time.
We should know better tomorrow, I think.
Okay. Well, then you guys sit down and try and figure it out. And.
We were thinking about calling Westcott, but she might take a lot of time, so I didn't want it inaudible. I mean, I don't know until we found out who there what time, inaudible. So I think that we would try to get her in here. We're dealing with, schedules too.
Yeah. We had a lady that's gonna be induced labor-wise maybe on Friday. Yeah.
Inaudible.
Yeah, we'll have to think about it. Well, I'm sorry.
Well, you guys, so that you kind of know where my head is at as far as moving.
Yeah.
Okay. And ITNK we alright, we can go back on the record and.
Sidebar conference concluded.
Alright. Well, thank you for the sidebar, so that we can kind of get an idea. I've been trying to let the bailiffs know, when we start in the morning, what our estimated time frame is, so I appreciate having that information. And I think at this point, the jury is probably out of the building. So is there anything else that we need to do on the record as far as the state is concerned, Ms. Diener?
No.
Mr. Rossi?
No, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Jody, you can go off the record.
Off record at 6:34 p.m.